Before I crop it to make it widescreen so it looks beautiful, clean, and perfect, I just want you all to see. As you can see, 3 days ago, 1.3K views, so a little over 1,000 views. Okay, so if it goes viral and it disappeared, then you know why. Right now, it's just sitting there. Not too many people are aware that she said this or the podcast even exists. So if this video disappeared, that's why. I'm talking about my video, that if my video disappear, there's a possibility that a copyright strike, hey, she's using our content. Even though I'm giving full credit to their platform, that would be the reason why my video on this topic might disappear. But I have posted little clips here and there from their podcast before and nothing happened. So hopefully this video stays up. You can see the name so you know where to go to click and watch the entire episode if you want to. But let's get into what Candiace had to say in my short intro first. What's up, my Fina loves? It's Miss Fina D coming to you all from Vin Entertainment News now.
Just so we're clear. And that, your example is an example of that.
Yeah. A less embarrassing Howard. He's not technically alone, but we know Howard. Kamala Harris is she teased that she says she's not done with politics and that she's teasing a second presidential or third presidential run. Do you want to start with that or should I?
Well, you go.
It's over. Don't run. I mean, you can run, but it's over. It's over. And I'm someone who's been actually sympathetic and understands all, the racism, the sexism she got set up, et cetera, et cetera. But it's over. Yes. Life ain't fair. That was your one and only shot. I don't want to say you blew it, but you blew parts of it. And if anything, while I defended on the first episode her right to talk her shit on her book, I think the book and more importantly the press tour in support of it pretty much confirmed why it's over. That's not to disparage her, but I also think how can I put it? Actually, you know what? Even one of the things was I'm speaking, that was cute at one point.
Yes,
it's over.
That's winsome. Serious. Yes.
How about you? How you feeling, Candiace? I don't see it.
Well, you took some of the words out of my mouth. I think that as a Black woman who walked the same grounds that she did at Howard University, there is a desire to have a blind allegiance to her, and I think a lot of us, those in my cohort, could just blindly follow her. And, I'll be honest and admit that when Biden dropped out and she gave that first speech, I was fired up for her really for probably the first time. And then we were all on those, Black women for Kamala, gay men for Kamala, farmers for Kamala, wig wearers for Kamala. There were all of these calls, and the Black women one was it was 60,000 people. I was in bed on this thing in my bonnet, crying, just in excitement for her. But I also believe that even if I thought that she did have a chance, I do feel like she tanked her chances, and she knows that she tanked her chances when she put pen to paper, when she started writing that book.
She basically, Kamala, there's a lot of years building up to people want more than just to see somebody that looks like them, telling them the same bullshit as the people before them. It's late. Get over it.
That's how I feel about Kamala. And it's hard to say because Black women are criticized enough, and we are, held to a different standard enough. We have to be twice as good as we know, blah, blah, blah. We know all of that. But if I'm being honest, and that's where I would start, is she she can talk. She's a great talker, but what does she say? What is she saying to us? And there is a big difference, because sometimes when she's speaking, I feel like and you said this kind of, she's giving a TED talk, but where there's no clarity in what she's saying, and we really don't know what she stands on. We don't know what her real beliefs are, and it's more so just like, this is not what I'm standing on, but what I'm standing next to, if that makes any sense. And her messaging to me has always felt generic. And
Yes.
it's like the political version of like beige. Like, people call me a sad beige mom, which I own with pride. Okay, kiss my ass.
Wait,
but like, you
beige?
can't be beige in politics.
Oh, yes, I get it now. I was like, sad beige mom.
Yeah, no, like that's the thing. Yes, it's sad beige moms are just moms that like don't embrace color. Like, I'm not. You can have your toys in my living room, but they're gonna match the decor in my living room. You're not going to have green and purple and yellow and red toys. They're going to be a shade of taupe, and that's okay. And there's a whole like cohort of people that like scoff at us and like turn their noses up at us because how dare you deprive your child of color? No, you have to fit into my life. But I digress. I can be a sad beige mom. You can't be a sad beige politician. Like, I need you to exude leadership. And not trying to offend anyone all the time is not leadership to me. And, you know, it's like she's more interested in like giving us poetry when what we're asking for is policy. What we're asking for is like something that is relatable and understandable and digestible, but believable. And I don't feel like she has given us that. And then I hope this, I don't want this part to go viral, but I'm going to say it anyway. There was an event where myself and my husband were in attendance. It was for the Congressional Black Caucus Political Action Committee. I used to be an ambassador for the CBC PAC. And we were at this event. It was a fundraiser. And this is back when, oh my God, this was when she was running for president, prior to the Biden of it all. And she dropped in as a surprise. And she was like walking through the crowd, and it's like, you know, oh, Kamala's here. And I had not yet met her. So I was, you know, excited to see this Howard woman, this Black woman who, you know, mirrors me and understands me and is going to make history as the first Black blah, blah, blah. And I walked up to her. She walked over to us, and she stuck out her hand, and I said, oh, it is so nice to meet you. And I shook her hand. Now, I was raised to shake a hand.
I know where you're going with this. Yep.
I actually take great offense to limp dick handshakes. Like, I don't like you if your handshake is not firm. I went in to shake her hand, and I squeezed, because that's a respectable handshake, is a firm handshake. And then especially as a woman, as a Black woman.
I was going to say, this is classic Black. You doing classic Black.
I got to let y'all know off rip, like from the jump, that I'm about my business. Here, you can get this firm handshake. She recoiled. Like, she goes, ouch. And she pulled her hand.
She said, ouch?
She said, ouch. She pulled her hand back. And I guess I don't know if I squeezed one of her rings. I don't know what I did.
Okay, CB, my eyes rolled all the way to the back of my head.
Let me tell you what was said. So that she went like this. I was like, oh, nice to meet you. And she keeps walking. Literally, Kim, me and Chris looked at each other, and in unison, we said, she can't be president. Like, you can't take it. We're talking about handshakes. And that always stuck in my mind. And it's, you know, it's not an end all be all of anything, right? But those are the nuances that like put you in the mind frame of, this is someone who I see as presidential, and this is someone who I question. And I guess I don't know if I squeezed one of her rings. I don't know what I did.
Okay.
And I guess I don't know if I squeezed one of her rings. I don't know I don't know what I did.
Okay.
No, the video is not glitching. I just had to remind you all to make sure you heard it. I don't know if I squeezed one of her rings. I don't know what I did. That right there, Candiace, is the reason why that story should have stayed right there. I don't know what I did. I don't know if I squeezed one of her rings. If you squeeze someone's hand and they have a ring and an object there that might have pinched her finger, of course the reaction is going to be ouch. Not because she doesn't know how to give firm handshakes. And oh my gosh, you can't be a president now because you don't know how to give firm handshakes, when this woman been in rooms giving those type of handshake. So for you to sit here and bring up, as a black woman, we get criticized enough, but then to go on your platform, to use your platform to say, because she did not give a firm handshake. I turned to my husband, and yes, that's her husband on the screen, and said she can't be president. Did you turn to her and say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Did I hit one of your rings? I'm sorry. Did you acknowledge, try to figure out why? Oh, she just walked away from me. And then get on your platform and say, oh, she can't be president because of her firm handshake. And people normally think, I'm just talking on my podcast. It's no big deal. But we have to be careful with the things that we say, especially, oh my gosh, especially being a black woman, it's so hard for us sometimes and all of that. Am I saying that Candiace is not entitled to her opinion? Absolutely not. This is how she feels. She have a platform. Go for it. Don't be saying we now. Now understand she and her co-host feel the same way, so kudos to them. But don't be like we. Because for me, her policies and everything she stood for were as clear as day, and she communicated them perfectly for me. If you feel different, you are absolutely entitled to your opinion. I'm focused on the part where the handshake, okay? After saying, I'm not sure if I did something to hurt her that led to the ouch, but then decide, even though that's a possibility, I'm still going to say this on my platform.
Because it
has nothing to do with her race or her gender. It's if a white man did that,
Trump,
I would say,
honestly, Trump would have.
That's a Trump move. Yes,
he would have. Honestly, Trump would have shook your hand and probably put his arm around you. And even if he might have said "bedwench" or call us monkeys or something afterwards, well, actually, probably. Well, no, he might. Well, somebody around him certainly wouldn't. He would just be like, "Ha ha."
Yes.
I think he would have actually engaged with you more, because when you see him on the stump, especially 2016, even 2020, even with the black people he knew didn't like him at those fast food restaurants, he was in their faces and actually got some of them to laugh, because evil can be funny sometimes, even if you don't like them.
He's still a TV guy at the end of the day. It just, what were you thinking?
Yeah, this ain't sounding great for her in primary. We're supposed to be the excited people.
In the clip you just saw at the end were their discussion about how disappointed they were that she didn't show up at Howard when she didn't win. But I've already used too much of, their content. So go to their channel. The name is on the screen. But I also want you to read, put me on pause if you have to, but pay attention to the tweets on the screen. And if you watch Housewives, then you've seen this scene on the Real Housewives of Atlanta from Miss Kenya Moore, okay? It's almost hurtful to me to watch her be so dumb. Anyways, this person responded, so because she didn't respond aggressively to your passive-aggressive handshake, she can't be president? We are all aware of the handshake of it all, like she said, having a firm handshake, it means this and that and power and all of that. But the moment you realize in your mind that maybe I squeezed her ring, maybe I did something, I'm not sure, the moment you had some doubts that might have led to the ouch, that story should have stayed right there. Not to be plastered all over the place that because she didn't shake your hand firmly, She's not worthy enough to be a president. Hot mess. When I wrote you on the screen, this is what I meant. And obviously, you haven't listened to her if you don't know what her policies are all about. Shameful. Exactly. Another tweet. What gets me is the we needed policy part. She talked about policy many times in multiple venues. She had specific plans for groups of people like black men. Her policies were written about and easy to look up between both her runs. Warren even copied a few of her plans in 2020. When his tweet was challenged, as you can see from the second tweet, he responded, she was pushing for a ceasefire and she was a co-sponsor of MFA in the Senate. She was also behind the policies to reduce maternal mortality. Go ahead and read the rest because it wasn't my intention to even make this video past 20 minutes and right now we're at 16, so we're getting close. But this other response is too good to not echo, okay? He responded again, she was also a senator. Her voting record is public. You can see her policies. What we need are influencers who are less lazy and do a tiny bit of research before they speak into a pod mic to inform their viewers. I think the end of the top tweet might be the issue here, okay? Because it doesn't fit their agenda, they always use that talking point. It absolutely gotta be. Because as educated as Candiace is and all of the things that she talks about, that right there disappointed me. However, her opinion is her opinion. Just because I feel and felt like her policies were clear and I understood them, it doesn't mean the next person had to. And that's that. And then we can't forget what was said right after she talked about the handshake. I'm not even going to read that. You all heard it. But this tweet right here. Exactly. Well, when it starts going here, that's when I have to exit, okay? Because then it becomes counterproductive. I won't sit here and call her names and do all of that. And then the Monique image being used, we already know why, because she and Monique had a physical altercation and all of that, and violence is never the answer. But here's the rest of the tweets and people are still going in. So like I said, if this video stay up, great. Thank you all for the love and support, but if it get a copyright strike, you know why. But I do see this getting more traction and people being more upset than that. And at that point, I'm sure Candiace is going to go on her podcast and respond. And if she does that, I might come back to talk about it just to bring some closure to all of it. I'm wishing all of you well and take care. Thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.